What's up, people? I am back for another video. We're gonna be talking about this movie, Die Hard 5, or A Good Day to Die Hard. This film came out in 2013. It shouldn't have fucking happened. I remember watching it like a little bit after it came out because I didn't see it in theaters. It's hot, sorry, but it just made. I remember watching it the first time and just thinking, this doesn't feel like Die Hard. This just feels like some action movie in Russia, and not even a good one. Fundamentally, the main issue. I guess I'll go really quick through the premise. His son Jack, played by Jai Courtney, who's fucking awful in this movie. I don't think Jai Courtney's like a shitty actor or anything. I've seen him decent stuff. I didn't hate him as Kyle Reese. I actually thought he was way better in that than he was in this movie. And he's a decent Captain Boomerang. But then in this, he just did not try. They clearly were trying to make him like his father, but really bad. And Bruce Willis was just phoning it in. You could tell he was like sleepwalking this film. I saw a comment like somebody saying that, and it is so true. He really was just like going through the motions. And then like the actions vary. It's like even the action's just boring. It's not Die Hard action. It's like, what I complained about some of the action in the fourth one was still over the top. They like just put that on steroids, especially in the final act. So Jack must save his son, who got himself locked up in the Russian police. So basically, and then they have to protect this guy Yuri, and then that's the film essentially. So, just why? I don't know why this film even needed to happen. Like, it's like fine, the fourth one happened, but you could have that fourth one could have been it too. You didn't need to continue past it. There was no reason to do this movie. I don't even remember really anyone clamoring for like a fifth one. Honestly, I don't remember anyone's like, we need a Die Hard 5, So, this film is just bad, man. The action was bad. Like, McClane didn't even, like, at least in the fourth one, he had one or two good lines in there. Whereas in this, there's just no good lines. So, the only positive I have is the one Russian chick who's on the bad guy's side was, like, the good thing. And that was just because she was hot. And that's not even necessarily means it saves the movie. This movie's trash still. And you don't even really know who the bad guy is. Because you think it's this one guy, and then obviously they do the twist where, oh no, it's the guy Yuri they were protecting the whole time. He's the bad guy, but then he gets killed pretty quick. So it's like, they don't even... it's such a bad movie. So the film kicks off with in Moscow, Victor, I can't even say his last name, is a corrupt Russian official, is trying to take out Yuri. And while we're seeing this, we see Jack McClane, who's like an undercover like CIA agent, I think, and he gets himself arrested because he was trying to assassinate. So after this happens, John McClane gets told that his son got himself arrested, and then random because like we're reintroduced to John, who in this, he's like just doing target practice. And like, I think one of his NYPD partners tells him, your son got captured. And then all of a sudden, John gets all angry and then like shoots at the thing. What? So I guess him and his son are estranged. So it's like, we're doing this again. We did this with the daughter a little bit in the fourth one. Let's just do it again. Then Lucy McClane, who I didn't even fucking remember was in this movie. I didn't even because even watching it again, I didn't catch on. I just reading the synopsis here. It says Lucy McClane drove. I guess I was not paying attention and must have not caught on that was Lucy McClane again. And I think it was Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So she came back just to drop him off. Why? Why does this movie fucking exist? So she drops John off at the airport. He then travels to Russia, and then there's this really cringe scene where he's in like the taxi and he's trying to speak Russian, but the taxi driver speaks English. Randomly starts singing like fucking Frank Sinatra. I'm like, motherfucker. Why was it so cringe humor? And this was 2013, so you can't call this Marvel humor because Marvel humor hadn't been fully established at this point. This was just cringe humor. And then so John gets out. He then walks to the courthouse. There's this like just long random while Yuri and his son are getting transported to the courthouse. Then while this happens, we see an empath, which is actually where the bad guys are. And rap. Sorry, I said empath. And rap. Which is where the bad guys, they detonate bombs. I'll admit, probably the only kind of cool explosion scene. Then they go in there because they're clearly sent there to kill Yuri. And so Jack frees Yuri. They try to escape together. John confronts them, and then big chase happens, and then John has to get into another car. And oh my god, this scene was stupid because John steals a random guy's car, and not just steals it. At least like I know this is another movie, but Lethal Weapon 4 when fucking Murtaugh steals another dude's car, he at least gives them money. In this, he just he beats the guy up. He beats the guy up and then jacks his car and then starts causing like damage. He's driving on top of other cars. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing now? This isn't even Die Hard anymore. Why is it in Russia too? It made no sense why this was in Russia. Die Hard has always been more keep it at home. It's not the franchise where we take it to other countries. It makes no sense. Why are we setting a Die Hard film in fucking Russia? This just feels like another film. So, John, while stealing another person's car as a cop, starts basically causing damage. So he's just destroying shit. And I guess then John ends up meeting up with Jack and Yuri. They escape together. Oh god, this film is fucking terrible. Like, none of the action makes sense. This isn't even Die Hard anymore. So they go to a safe house with this is where John finds out that his son's a CIA agent, because up until this point, John thought, because I think his son, was having trouble with the law and stuff. So, and they do the whole spiel of, oh, you weren't there, Dad. The bickering again. Oh, God, it's just fuck off, movie. So, they come from heavy fire from Chagrin's men, who's the other bad guy. So we get a big shootout. John and Jack basically have to escape. They kill most of the guards, John and Jack, and then they basically escape again. And this is where they meet Yuri's daughter, because they gotta go get a key. And then this is where I think Jack has to go do something really quick, and Yuri is talking to John, and this is where John opens up about he wasn't there enough for his kid. Fuck you, movie. They were really trying to lay it on thick with this stuff with his son and his dad. We're supposed to care when they never built this up in any of the other movies. All of a sudden, I mean, I know they reference he has a son, but they never, even in the fourth one, I don't even think they mention anything like that. and you obviously fucking Jack overheard it. So they go in, they meet with the daughter who, what was her name? Irina, who I'll admit she's like probably the one of the only positives in the film. Uh, so they meet up. Everything seems normal, but John starts suspecting that there's something up with Irina. And then obviously the bad guys show up, and it turns out Irina is with them. They tie up John and Jack. They take her dad, and then they manage to break out, kill a bunch of the bad guys. Then we get this helicopter sequence where they slide down like a tube, and then like the helicopter's like shooting at them. While I was like, what are we doing? This isn't fucking Die Hard anymore. And like the action's just boring because it's just shit we've seen in other movies, by the way. I think that's the other problem. Because this is 2013. We had already kind of seen everything at that point. Like none of the action in this was anything innovative. It's also just shit from the other movies, but also just shit from other action movies even. So they managed to escape, but then Alec and Irina take the helicopter and back. They go to the Chernobyl site because they're trying to get this like file that Yuri has. So John and Jack. Then we get this cringy, emotional scene where they're talking to they're all beat up and they're all talking like how much you know that they're trying to like really build up John and Jack's relationship again, but it's just you're not into it. It's just not believable because it's not built up. This is just forced on you because they were trying to do like this emotional storyline, but you weren't interested in it. So it just you don't care. And I'm sorry, Jai Courtney is just fucking boring in this film. He didn't really have any personality. They were clearly trying to make him John McClane Jr. Like that's what they were trying to make him, but he's a CIA agent. So they get into a car to go race to save Yuri. And then this is where when they arrive, and also this is where it's revealed Yuri's the bad guy. There was never a file in that, so Yuri shoots Alec, and this is where it's revealed Yuri's the bad guy. But once again, you're not invested. You don't. So I guess he's the bad guy of the film, but not really. Because there's no like you don't really know who the main bad guy is. It's so stupid. Fuck this movie. I just did not give a shit. It's boring, and even the action's boring. Because when you're not even invested, it's just blah action that I've seen in other Die Hard movies, and just and better. So John and Jack arrive. They beat up the bad guys. They confront Yuri, and this is where they figure out Yuri's the bad guy. Irina and one of her guards decide we're gonna go back to try to save my father. John ends up stowing away on the helicopter, killing a few people. Then John Yuri talks shit to Jack about his dad. Then Jack just chucks him to the ground. And they clearly were trying to do this dramatic fall, like reminiscent of Hans from the first one, but it doesn't work because it's like you don't care. And then I guess he dies in the helicopter, and then they manage to make the helicopter crash. Oh god. So Irina tries to crash the helicopter into him in like a suicide bombing kind of thing, but they manage to leap off the building into water. And fuck this movie. Just it ends. Fuck this film. It's not well made. You can clearly tell Bruce Willis does not give a fuck. The action isn't good. It's just action from other movies that were done better. You don't care about his relationship with his son. And even like before they get into the base, I didn't even talk about this part. Oh, they were like doing the "I love you, son. I have your back." Oh, I have your back too. Like fuck you. And that's all I was thinking. Fuck you, movie. You really, really try to push this as like, where I don't know why was this movie made? Like that is the biggest question I have. This movie does not need to exist. You didn't even really have a real bad guy. They try to do this like twist where, oh no, Yuri's the bad guy, but you're not interested. Okay, his daughter was hot, but that's it. And then she dies. In one of the most dumbest, over the top ways. She crashes the helicopter while they manage to jump off the. It's just very boring, too. Like, I'm gonna keep mentioning, you're not invested in anything. Bruce Willis doesn't have any funny one liners. He's just destroying shit in Russia. Like, none of the side characters you care about. So that's all I could say. This film is dog shit. I'll admit it's not one of the worst. Like it's not as bad as like let's say a Terminator, Dark Fate, or the sequel trilogy. It doesn't destroy the other movies in that kind of sense, but it like you can just like it doesn't exist. So I'll give it that, I guess. But it's just a terrible film. I don't know why Bruce Willis agreed to do. Why did this even get greenlit? And why are we setting it in another country? Die Hard works better when it's set within America. Because to me, it's a purely American franchise. You know? It makes more sense. Like something like Commando because he's military. So yeah, you go around the world. John McClane's a fucking NYPD cop. They're not going to be traveling around the world like that. It was stupid. And setting it in Russia. Like we're still in the 80s or something. That made no sense to me. So yeah, this film's like a 3 out of 10. Never will watch again. I do not recommend. Mainly just stick to the first 3 and maybe watch the 4th as like a spin-off. But that's it. Do not watch this one. There's nothing good in it. Like I even say, the action's not even good. So I'm gonna sign off here. Fuck this movie. Tomorrow, I've decided I'm going to talk about the Halloween Kills trailer, so I'll probably do that tomorrow. And I'll do a Bands I Love tomorrow, possibly. But other than that, I'm going to cheers to not watching this movie again. But fuck this movie. Other than that, as usual, fuck Warner Brothers, fuck Disney, fuck LeBron, fuck Kevin Smith, and of course, fuck Joe Biden and his bitch ass administration. And also, fuck this movie. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace!